Excited about it that it's going really good because we're in the editing bays right now, so it's really looking great. So I've been very happy getting to check that out.
That is awesome, and I can't wait to dive into all that right here on W.I.L.D, the podcast. So welcome everyone. This is W.I.L.D, the podcast, where we dive into what we love doing, and that is having inspiring, life-changing conversations live on air. I'm Kouprina, and this evening we're joined by Karen Goeller, author, actress, filmmaker, and Joe Gawalis, award-winning filmmaker, best-selling author, and speaker. This evening we'll be discussing their film, Missy's Voice, right here on W.I.L.D, the podcast, which airs live on Just TV, 24/7 Roku TV, 101 TV, NCT Television Network, Meta TV, and of course, www.jessfm.ca. W.I.L.D, the podcast is proudly sponsored by W.I.L.D, the nonprofit, with a mission of eradicating domestic violence through storytelling, connection, and by providing opportunities for everyone to be heard for free as part of a vision for a better tomorrow. For more information, please visit WILDthenonprofit.com, sponsored by W.I.L.D Homes and Gardens magazine. This is Volume 1, and this is Volume 2, and Borderline, a poetic memoir published by W.I.L.D Press, written by me, and they're available on both Amazon US and Amazon Canada. Each copy sold helps us further our mission of sharing inspiring stories for free. If you wish to be a guest on W.I.L.D the podcast, please email us at hello@wildthepodcast.com. And without further ado, here we go. Joe, welcome. I'll give you the first allow you to introduce yourself first, and then we'll go on to Karen.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Diana, for having me on. It's really a pleasure. I love your mission statement about the show and everything your sponsors. Really fantastic. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I mean, I read your bio. I was really inspired. There were so many things that caught my eye. So I really want you to just touch upon that briefly. You do so much, which is
thank you very much. I'm very proud to have been in the entertainment business for about 18 years now. I love it. Creating cinema, creating story. It is my life. I truly love it. There's so many great people in it. I'm a co-owner of IDC Entertainment with some great partners, Chris Victor, Timothy Reeves, some other great individuals working alongside guys like Gene Hale, Andy Letke, great team of people I surround myself with. So I also own Lights Camera Podcast Studios, where we take intellectual properties and we turn them from either books, graphic novels, and we take them from that stage, getting them into different forms of transmedia content going all around the world. So I've come from just becoming a filmmaker where, I would be a director for hire or make feature films or write films, to now taking entire properties and bringing them from stage one all the way into different multimedia franchises that are getting released all over the world right now. So I've been very fortunate to do that. And throughout the years, I have, had great mentors, great business partners, great people I've worked with. So I'm just very fortunate that I've got to be around great people that taught me a lot. I try to listen. And again, you learn by making a lot of mistakes. We all make a lot of them. You learn as you get better. And I proudly try to help a lot of great younger people getting into the business, as well. I have a lot of great PAs that are working for me now that we're trying to bring up through the ranks and hopefully have them direct projects one day.
That is amazing and really inspiring. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Karen, I'll give you a brief few minutes just to introduce yourself. I know our viewers love you. We love hearing you speak, and I personally love having conversations with you. I think this is our third time on, and I'm really excited about Missy's Voice. I can't wait to dive into that discussion. But before that, if anyone missed the first episodes with Karen. Karen, if you can just give that little overview about yourself.
Okay. Well, besides being a writer for Missy's Voice, I have 20 published books. Most are gymnastics and fitness, and then I have a few children's books, including Missy's Voice. Besides that, I've been a gymnastics coach since the 70s, a CSCS, that's a strength coach, for many years, since like 2008. And that's about it. I mean, I took some time off from coaching, but just briefly to be a paralegal and real estate agent, but I keep bouncing back into the gym. And when I'm not in the gym, I write. So here I am again.
Always love having you. So
Thank you.
back to Missy's Voice. How did you connect and begin creating this? And Joe, to be even more specific, what really brought this together? Why was it so important to work on this project?
Well, what Karen created was an amazing piece, and I'm very, very big into the anti-bullying movement. I believe in it. And Karen and I have known each other for some years throughout the New York entertainment scene. It's a small world, right? Once you're kind of in that world, everybody kind of crosses paths at some point. So Karen approached me, maybe a year and a half ago at some point to say, listen, Joe, I'd love you to take another read at my book, and can you read a script that I wrote? And I like Karen. Of course, I can talk to you about it. We can see what we can do. And I realized, I said, look, what you have here is really great. You have a great foundation, you have a great story, you have a great mission statement, but you need to start the building blocks of creating this from taking it from your script to being able to get it out on screen. So it's been just a real pleasure working with Karen. She's fantastic to work with. It feels like, again, like she brought me on board, my team on board, but it feels like she's such a great collaborator. So working alongside of her to build that up has been incredible. And we've worked together hand in hand every step of the way, which has really been great, from taking that script, getting the building blocks of pre-production. I mean, we had a whole school district in New Jersey getting behind us where we shot at their school. We really built it up where we had great professional actors with young, amazing young actresses that have huge agents around the world. They're doing films in South Korea and TV commercials. These people are great. And we also had a great group of veteran adult actors come on board. So it was really building those building blocks, but it came down to Karen's great story and her ability to say, I want to go all the way with this. That was the one question I asked her. I said, why are you doing this? Are you doing this to try to strike it rich? Do you want to get, famous? Do you want to get your story out there? You have to tell me these things because then I can help you. If you told me you're just in it for the money, I don't really want to do that with you with this kind of film. I want to make sure you want to go all the way with this and get it in front of the right eyes. And then our team will spend the time to take it and help it get to that level cinematically where we can present it and keep letting the project get bigger and bigger and hopefully make a huge difference in lives, across the world.
Yeah. Karen, so for you, what inspired you to create Missy's Voice? I want to go back to that for anyone who doesn't know the story of Missy's Voice and maybe missed on that. Let's circle back to what inspired you to create write it.
Believe it or not, I was actually listening to the radio one day, and something that someone said on the radio triggered a childhood memory. And I said to myself, well, that could be a cute short film. And then, so I did that. I wrote the short script. And then I said to myself, well, I could publish a book so much faster than I can produce a film. So then I converted it to a book. Then I spoke with a few people, and they suggested that I extend it to a feature-length film. So I did that. I wrote that script a couple of years ago, back in, I think, 2020. And then I didn't have any luck moving it beyond just the script step until I spoke with Joe, and now it seems to be moving so much faster than I expected and so much better than I expected. So at the end of the day, we're going to have a really beautiful project and change a lot of lives.
Sorry, I'm taking a minute just to digest, because I want our viewers to kind of just have the basic idea of the story behind it, and why it was so maybe personal in a way for both of you to join. I mean, for me personally, I was what drew me to it was, again, bullying is such a big thing, and I was bullied as a kid. I bullied myself as a kid, which became even worse and worse. But initially, it came from that whole, I'm not fitting in. I'm being made fun of for my acne or this or that, and that was really hard as a teenager to kind of progress and not fall into everything else and the trauma and then the self-hate and everything that really transpired in my life. So I'm curious, what was your kind of connection to it to make it really purposeful?
Well, that memory that was triggered was actually a memory of me being bullied by a handful of girls. So I was bullied in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Couldn't wait to graduate from that school. I went to high school. Then I was bullied again in high school for 2 years until those girls graduated. Well, actually, it was, ended before that because the principal did get involved. So I was bullied at school, 2 schools, and at gymnastics. So I really didn't have any escape as a kid, except for when I was actually like on the balance beam or something like that. So I was bullied a lot as a kid. So, as I tell people about the book and about the film, I keep hearing how many people have been bullied. It's so much more than I really ever thought possible. It seems like almost everyone have spoken to, has been bullied or has had a child or a spouse or a family member that's been bullied, and many of them very severely. So this really needs to get out to the world, and hopefully the characters in this film will set a nice example and basically teach life lessons that we want to teach, and hopefully change some behavior or some lives, or maybe even save a life.
I love the title, Missy's Voice, because I know through my years, through all that trauma, I lost my voice. And now I'm spending all this time trying to regain it and see where it is capable, what is its capacity, because I feel like throughout what I call healing, now I like to call reclaiming, I realized I reverted back to this child that I was before the trauma, all of that, before any of that happened. So probably maybe the earliest memories of 7 and 8, and who was I, and what did I really want, and what was my purpose. And I come to find out, I've always loved to read. That was the true passion. And I secretly dreamt of acting one day, but I could never give myself that ability, just because I was, by the age of 14, I had convinced myself I was completely worthless. And with that came so much stage fright, so much everything else. And my voice completely I didn't have a voice. I just did what people wanted me to do. I said what people wanted me to do, and then I felt like a failure because I wasn't doing it well enough. So I love that title. Can you dive into a little bit into that message of regaining the voice and what that meant for you?
Well, in this story, Missy's a young singer, and she's bullied, and she's shy and quiet, and everything typical of the target for bullies. But then when she performs, throughout the performance, she becomes more and more confident, and eventually she becomes very confident. And at that point, she really does find her voice, and confidence grows, and the bullying, eventually stops. And it's just, you see her growth throughout the story. It's just, she finds her voice. So.
That is obviously, that is it, right? That is the real path where you really just want to find your voice. Joey, you've been awfully quiet, so we've
no. I enjoy letting Karen.
What's your backstory?
Well, really, I have to say what Karen did so well about Missy finding her voice. Our lead actress Bruna, who's a phenomenal actress. I mean, what that actor goes through and the transformation. I had such an amazing time on set watching not just the actress, but her portrayal of Missy, truly finding her voice on stage. We shot it at Mount Olive High School in New Jersey. We had so many of the local people come out there as the extras to be in the audience. We had a lot of the students from the school. And it was amazing where Bruna got to perform a beautiful song created by Andy Leckie and Gene Hale, our music guys, beautifully in front of this whole audience. And she truly transformed where, she comes in her cast and she, as an actress, looks so shy and timid. She's not in real life, but when she goes on that stage, you can see the audience just get sucked into that world and really just be like, her voice made the entire audience feel like somebody was persevering and stopping. And it was so beautifully done where the performances and the writing was so perfect that it truly encapsulated everything that Karen just said, that Missy truly found her voice. And Bruna does it so well where you truly feel like this girl's voice now matters. One voice can make a change, and she is going to do it and make a difference and stop bullying. And it was just so beautifully done by an amazing group of people. So just very proud of the cast and crew. So I have to concur. Everything that Karen said is 100% true, and the cast did a great job of portraying that.
Yeah,
that's amazing. It's amazing that you both were able to create. And how long have you been working on it? Only a year so far? I mean, that sounds like you've been.
Yeah, well, I would say, Karen, what you probably. Yeah, you probably approached me, about a year and a half. But it takes a lot of time. There's a lot of pre-production time, and a lot of it too is, I always say, I kind of lay out a blueprint when I start to work with somebody. And I said, there's maybe 5 roads we can go down. Again, you have to be completely transparent with me. What's the first objective you want to get done? Well, we need to get this out into the world. We need this. Okay, well, we have to do it at the right level. So we start building our plan. We start reaching out to people. But as soon as we were able to formulate what the objectives were, then we're in pre-production immediately. We start doing the casting process, and that process, I mean, we were able to get, this is a full SAG, movie. We were on the official breakdowns. We had all the actors came through very high-end, great agencies. So that casting process, right, Karen, was probably about a month of having interviews coming in. We had thousands of submissions go through. So just that process alone took a lot of time. And then once we got that, we had to formulate the school district, because we did shoot with Mount Olive, and they were fantastic, from the superintendent to the principal to Jody Bosch, who was a teacher of mine when I was a student, actually helped us connect that line to Mount Olive. And they were great, but you have to go through an approval process. So that takes time. They have to read Karen's script. They have to look us up. They have to see, they're not just going to let us into their school and support.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bit of a,
it's a bit of a process. You can't just go in and say, "Hey, kids, let's." No,
100%, right? And we had such an amazing team. Our co-producers Chris and Jean, and our director of photography Timothy Reeves. Great mind for the business. And Tim and I had sit there a long time too, and take Karen's vision. And I would ask her questions about what she wants to portray, and then Tim and I would have to develop the shot. So even that takes a lot of time there. And then we have to assemble our team of amazing people. We have a lot of great sponsors that are involved with my company that came on board for this. So a lot of great individuals that you have to get together. So the process takes a lot of time, and then all of a sudden you shoot. They told Karen, and once you're on set, that's the fun part. It should be easy. I mean, our set was so amazing that it was so fun, because we had the Department of Labor, because the children and whatnot. We had all their parents had to be there, and everybody had so much fun. The cast, the crew, the parents just laughed the entire time. People truly loved it. It was beautiful to see such an amazing piece come together where the actors and the crew truly became friends and one. So it's a beautiful experience.
That's amazing. I can't wait to see this film. So what does the future look like? When is the release date?
Karen, you or I? Who wants to go first?
Joe, you answer that one.
Okay. So what's great is, so we're building this into a full intellectual property, which is fantastic. So right now the film's in post-production, is looking fantastic. We have our music team creating the rest of the score. Everything's really looking great, and we're going to be representing the film over at the American Film Market in November in Los Angeles, which is great. So we're growing this intellectual property. So we're going to have a screening of this phase of the IP. I would say people can start seeing it, private screening in November. I would say, the beginning of November, and then you'll see things online after that. The entirety of the IP will start trickling out throughout 2026. So the filmmaking marketplace has changed a lot now, where I feel you just don't make a movie anymore. We're trying to create a lot of material around this property, and the movie is just one of those elements that will be out there.
That's really interesting. I honestly know very little about the whole process, so I'm learning as you're speaking and telling me about it, and I'm really curious. There's so many questions floating about just the film industry and how
Please.
you even get through it. How do you even create it? I, of course, myself personally have thought of writing, turning my book into a script, but the book is so big. It's at 400 pages, so turning that into a script is going to take
Sure.
some time, and then really turning it into a project would take even longer. So I'm really learning from the both of you right now, and just listening to you, I'm like, okay, that's something to really think about in the future. But what have you encountered any obstacles? Do you feel like it's just been something that's just been kind of snowballing and like rolling into it, and everything's connected?
I have to say, working with Karen has been amazing, because she came through. So I always say at the end of the day, this is still Karen's project, right? So my team and we are here to make her vision come to life, to make this work. But Karen treats it like everybody loves working for her. It's like we're all partners, we're all working on something, right? So it's fantastic. Everybody collaborates, everybody feels a part of the team, which is really good. There's been no obstacles because we plan everything out. I try to be very thorough, and I believe in being extremely transparent, to the point I always tell people, let me apologize if I come across rude when I say something. I wanted to be so transparent where even our production assistants, new people that may be coming into the business, when we're giving them a contract, I will say, I want to read this through with you line by line so you know exactly what you're getting into. Don't breeze through things. I believe in transparency. So I think if you're very transparent, you plan every stage out, you won't run into problems. And if there is something somebody doesn't like, well, let's solve that before we have to get the set and make it a problem then. I think a lot of people, when they get into the business, they want to just yes everybody, and they want to just make things very simple, which ends up complicating things. But everybody goes through that at the beginnings of their career. So I think because we do our due diligence, because Karen's also a great leader to work for, the ship is very tight. Everything's great. There's really been no hiccups at all. It's been an amazing experience. And I again, from top to finish, from the actors all the way down to the production assistants to the, who are all equally important, but the background players, the parents that were on set, everybody walked away happy. Jody Bosch, who was a teacher who connected us to Mount Olive, said, the kids from the Mount Olive school, who were the extras, are still communicating with the actors today. They all have chat groups and they all became friends.
They have like so amazing and creative and so inspiring, because it really gives kids that opportunity to shine and be on stage and be seen and be heard, and really giving so much more to the community.
Thank you. That's what we wanted to do. We even told her, I said, when the kids are there, if they want to learn, don't hang back. If you want to see behind the camera, come by the monitors. If you want to learn something, ask. I believe in, again, teaching people. Even on set, when Bruno was doing her song at the end, we had tons of extras in the audience, but I would like to go out before the shots and explain what was going on to the background actors, saying, look, the reason you may be seeing us do this 2 or 3 times I'll say, Tim's over there, and then Steve, our Steadicam operator, as you can see, they have their camera assistants coming out and changing their lenses. So what you just saw is going to be the wide shot, and when you do a movie, you just automatically punch in. You have to change the lenses and the lights. So you keep people understanding the process and try to engage people, so they're getting something out of it as well. We're all part of the team. I think people should be involved, and I always just like helping and teaching as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Karen, what has it been like for you working on it? I mean, the excitement. I want the details. I want the feelings and all of it.
Well, I have to say, this set is extremely rare. I've been on over 100 film and TV sets. I've never seen lead actors and background actors end up friends the way these kids have ended up as friends. One of my gymnasts was one of the background actors, and she still talks about the group and the group chats or text messages or whatever they're doing. They all walked away with good, I think, lifetime friends. So that's just been amazing. But the entire process, ever since Joe said yes to this project, it's been moving really smoothly. Thank God he said yes, because it wouldn't get done any other way. With Joe, it's going to get done. It's going to get done the right way. There's no way anyone else could do this project the way I envision it. When I was watching the scenes being shot, I was getting chills because it was so similar to how I imagined it as I was typing. It was amazing. So from 5 years ago, when I typed the first scenes, and I was either, depending on the scene, I was either laughing or crying or getting chills and just really imagining what would be going on if there were people actually acting these scenes out, to when we shot those scenes in August, it's just been incredible. And yeah, I don't think anybody else could have done it the way Joe and his team have worked on this project and will continue to work on it. There's no way. So it's been really cool.
That is so amazing. How did it feel to really see come to life what you really saw in your head? Like, what was that like for you?
It was just
that moment.
So, it was so great. It's hard to describe. When I was a kid, I wanted to be one of Bella Caroli's gymnasts. I compare everything to gymnastics because that's been my life.
I get it.
Yeah. And when I walked into his gym as an adult coach, seeing him in person and everybody calling him by his first name and just interacting with him, and it was just like, oh my God, this is like the real deal. This is actually happening. It was the same feeling. So it was just, it's hard to describe. But it was just so great. It was really so, I don't know.
It's a magic moment. It sounds just like a magic moment that you can't really describe, but it's just like that. Just wow.
And it wasn't the same when I did, like, I have that short film that I did, and that won a bunch of awards. That was like nowhere near this. That was, my words, where my actions were coming to life, with those actors, and they did a great job. But this, totally different level. It's just nothing like that. This is more like the day that I walked into Caroli's gym and saw him and started interacting with him and working with him. This is the same as that. So.
That is amazing. I hope this continues, obviously, and I'm so excited to see this film. We'll definitely have to do something in celebration once it's released and it's out, and have you both back on and just really highlight it, because it sounds so much bigger than any of us life.
Beautiful, really
hitting on all those notes that are so important, especially the children. I think it's so important to teach them empathy and sympathy and compassion, and understanding. And we can break that cycle of bullying, but it really does start with us, the grown-ups who've been through it, who are able, like Karen, tell that story and bring it to life. So
here's another thing. There's a lot of bullying going on in workplaces. I keep reading articles on LinkedIn. And if this generation of kids reduces the amount of bullying now, then workplaces may be a little bit more pleasant when they grow up.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for me, I feel like the whole 90s and early 2000s were just girls being mean to each other, and that was the height of bullying. Like, that's what we did. If you wanted to even be popular, you just bullied other ones, smaller ones, or you got bullied. And it was this vicious cycle, and it was horrible. I recently was watching, I want to say it was a reel. I don't know if it was YouTube or somewhere, and it was from the older times, from like the 90s. And I want to say it was Avril Lavigne dissing Britney Spears. And it was just so weird because they're teenagers, right? They were both teenagers at when they started becoming big, and it was just one saying the other one dressed like a whore and so on. And it just really brought me back. And I was like, this is the society we lived in. And that is just shocking to see now and realize we have come far. But at times, I worry that we haven't come far enough. And that's why your work is so important. I think everyone should be sharing their stories. I think we can get rid of so many problems that way, just by connecting, understanding, and changing. It sounds easy, but it's hard to do.
100%. Absolutely. That was so well said, Diana, actually, and it's true, especially when I think adults can also learn a lot from children, and children are going to change the future by changing anti-bullying, by believing in that. And especially a film like this, we got to see these veteran, amazing adult actors that are on some pretty big TV shows that have great credits, watching this new generation of kids and just watching in awe about how good they were. And it's the same thing. If these young kids stop bullying, the adults are going to start thinking about their own lives. Maybe I shouldn't act this way in my workplace. Maybe I was doing something wrong. I think if we can start the problem or stop the problem at the beginning, like you said, it's going to stop bullying down the line. So no matter a good thing or bad thing, if we start with the children, especially in that, early teenage, middle school, early high school age range, that's when you develop into who you're going to be. So it's a great, the project hits the nail on the head with the age range in there.
Yeah, and it is really, that is the age range that is so sensitive, because you throw in the hormones and they start doing weird things.
Sure.
And for a child, that is so scary. And I watch my daughter. She's 11 now, and I see the changes, and I know they scare her, and I know it's going to be a deeper dive as they kind of take effect even more and more, and even minor breakouts. And kids can be mean, and they will pinpoint anything and say this or that. And it's from one side, as a parent, I feel like I want to protect her, but I also want to give her the tools and the confidence to know that no matter what is said, they can't take her voice and her power or her creativity, all of it. And it's really, as a parent, I feel like it's just to boost her confidence and just tell her, you're amazing, you're brilliant, you can do this. She's into ballet right now, so she's quite brilliant. I'm not even saying it as a parent. She got into the prestigious Boston Ballet Schools. She skipped a bunch of levels and went straight into classical ballet 1. She's in pre-point right now. So she said one day, hey, I want to try ballet. And then she just, through consistency, through everything, just went for it and is doing it. So it's so amazing to see, and just to see that confidence in her, that's of another world, I want to say. I can't, I'm just like a booming parent, and I get tears and all of it. But my point is that even in those moments, there can be a bully or someone that can, throw that stick at her or say something where she can fumble, and that can happen, on stage. That can happen anywhere in life. And it's really the ability to regain that voice again. That's the hard part. And going back to Missy's voice, by creating this, you're giving kids a chance to understand that I can still, if anything happens, all those bullies come for me, I can still regain my voice. I can shine even brighter, and I can be even bigger.
Right. It's funny, that's the title of the song. I Shine.
That's right. That's correct. Yes. Yeah. And Andy and Gene really did a great job. Great. It was called I Shine, the original song. Exactly. Yep.
Well, I think I hit it on the nail personally.
Yes.
I was going to say, you should have been pitching the movie right there. You nailed it. It was perfect.
Pitching the movie. I'm pitching it now to our audience. So I hope everyone has a chance to check it out. And of course, we'll have you guys back on to do another episode once it's released. I know there's going to be hype, there's going to be celebration, and I totally want to be a part of it. So
Good.
Lovely. That'd be fantastic. Absolutely. That'd be great.
We have a few more minutes before we get to say good night. And I want to give you to take turns just to hype yourself up, promote your work, websites, where can we connect with you, where can we find you, and all the good stuff.
Karen, let's go ahead, or how do you want to do it?
Sure. So if you want to check out the book, you can order it through pretty much any bookseller, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anything like that. I don't sell them from my office like people think that I do. You'd have to actually go to one of the major booksellers. The website, which is going to be updated soon, but it's not really that up to date. It's more about the book right now, is missysvoice.com. We do have a Facebook page that's going to be, it's updated a little bit, but we're going to add a lot more to it in the near future, and that's on Facebook, Missy's Voice Film and Book, or Book and Film. So if you just type in Missy's Voice, you'll find it. If you want more information on me personally, it's KarenGoeller.com. And all of my books, not all of them, I've actually discontinued a few, but about 20 of my books are available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon and all the other, booksellers. That's about it. Joe?
Great. Yes. You can look me up on Instagram. My handle's at Joe Gawalis, Gawalis. You can connect with me anytime. Send me a message. I'm happy to connect and reach out if you have questions. You can also learn more about me on my website, www.joegawalis.com. I have a course that I teach also online if you want to learn more about filmmaking in general, how you can take your IP and build it up. I have a course you can actually look up. It's called lightscamerapodcast.net. You can check that out. I also take intellectual properties on that site and build them from different avenues all the way out into films. And my production company, alongside my other co-producers, people like Chris Victor, Timothy Reeves, we have idcentertainment.com. You can go there. You can see some of the movies that we work on. The feature films are more in that direction. That's our production wing. And reach out to me on Instagram. Most likely is probably the best way. Or you can send me a message on my site. I'm not always managing my site myself, but I do look at my Instagram. I'm on there myself. So if you send me a message, you want to learn about the business, I'm more than happy to connect or answer any questions. And you can look me up there. I have multiple projects. You want to read some of my books, again, they're on Amazon. My projects that I filmed, films I directed and produced, are on Stars, Peacock. You can actually still get some DVDs on Amazon, and I guess you could probably order them online at Walmart. They were in there at some point, but that's not really a thing anymore. And on every major kind of streaming platform, you can see movies from when I started my career at low budgets all the way up to larger ones. And that's the whole thing. And you said it, Diana, it's called consistency, what your daughter did. You don't just start and say, I'm going to make an $8 million movie and produce this. You start at the bottom and you figure out and you make all your mistakes. And if you think the business is moving too slow for you, just remember, if you got your $10 million opportunity when you had no experience, you'd probably blow the opportunity most likely, right? So,
absolutely. Absolutely. It's like with anything. I know even with writing my book, it was just this process. And I used to think, like, why didn't I write it sooner? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? But as I got to the point where I am and how it came out and how I wrote it and how everything connected and aligned, that only came from being really consistent with myself for the past 5 years, being like, I will write, I will do this, I have it in my head, I have this goal that by the time I'm 40, I will publish it. Even though I didn't have the how, I didn't have anything, at the time I was like, I haven't picked up pen and paper in, I don't know, 6 years. I don't know if I could even do this, but somehow just even that, initiating those consistent thoughts in my mind, it really helped create it. And obviously when I started speaking more about it and really putting it in effect, it just started coming to life.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate your time. I appreciate that you both came on here together to
Thank
discuss
you.
this amazing project, Missy's Voice. Thank you so much for being here on W.I.L.D, the podcast, airing on Jess TV, NCG, Television Network 101.ca, and of course, you can always catch us on www.jessfm.ca and catch up on previous episodes on YouTube and on wildthepodcast.com. So thank you for tuning in. And until next time, please, please fill yourselves up with so much love. Let it overflow and just love each other and take care of one another. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just calm yourself down. Oh, sorry, rambunctious child. Just calm yourself down. Oh, sorry, rambunctious child. Just calm